Welcome back. 5 steps to increase your SEO rankings by 92%. I'm going to show you some real numbers. We are on a journey here. We're building out a project, and we wanted to bring you up on the journey. My name is Ola, and as you can see, we're having not a very good day. If you look at this graph right now, we're not really having a good day. There's a nosedive here, but we do have a support line here. Okay, so what is the support line? 0. Okay, so this is just the clicks. Okay, but if we go under performance, we don't really care about the clicks because that's more of what we call a lagging indicator. Really, what we care about is visibility across the board. So you can see here, if I go back by 28 days, we're not doing too shabbily. About 3 months, about 52,000 impressions, and you can see there's some upward trend over here. But more of the leading indicator that we really like to see is under pages. I'm showing you my Google Search Console, showing basically what's going on with just one of our assets, where Google is showing us a lot of love. Now, if you look at this, you can see this climbing up. This is the leading indicator. It's really about your input. And if you understand how this works, eventually it catches up. Okay. But oftentimes people will quit before they actually see results. But in terms of the number, the 92% I was showing you, if you go under insight here, we can see here that there's an increase over the last 28 days of about 21%, an increase in impressions of about 19%. But more importantly, I'm going to blow this up. You can see this first line. There's this one ranking here that went up about 92%. And what I want to do on this platform right now is to show you exactly how we were able to achieve an increase in 92% of this one particular blog post. All right. So like I was saying, my name is Ola. I'm the author of Digital Marketing Certified. The fundamentals of everything I do in my business that I do for my clients is all in this book. You can get it for free. All right. It's a very quick read, fast read, about 200 pages or so. But again, it's and also it has all the stories of how I navigated this journey in the past 20 years. I've been doing this for the last 20 years. So you might be thinking AI marketing, AI marketing. There's nothing new when it comes to AI within digital marketing. Okay. But of course, the platforms are changing because change is constant. So you must stay on top of it. But today I want to share with you 5 steps, 5 tips that you can take immediately to actually improve. So we call it the 5 steps to increase your SEO rankings by 92%. Okay, the first thing first in all of this is first thing problem. You have to identify an actual one problem that you're going to solve. Okay, one problem that you're going to solve. Let's see here. All right, so let's put that on there. One problem. Okay, very important. One problem. Don't try to solve too many problems at the same time. Okay, it's very important. That problem is something you've identified as something that your potential clients would either go through. They're asking that question right now, or they should be asking the question. You're the expert, right? And Google and the algorithms and these different things knows, right? All right. So the idea here is you identify the one problem. You might have a blog post that you've been creating content, and you're realizing that wait, the content, it's not ranking, it's not showing up anywhere, it's ghostland. Like, what's the point? Maybe you haven't even taken the time to understand why you're creating content. But the question is, what do you do when you've created content, or you've created the right content and still doesn't rank? You want to go back and review that piece of content. Is it addressing one problem, one question? No more than that. That one question is what you turn into. I'm going to go to step number 2 right now. That's what you turn into content. Okay, that's what you want to make the content. If you're doing it, if you haven't paid attention to this, it's a big deal. This is how you drift off. And this is how the algorithms get confused on what your content is all about. Okay. So step 2 that I'm going to share with you on this right now is, again, content. Okay. It's more like actually the first step, but again, it's like this. Actually, let me join them together. Okay. The problem here, I'm going to push this forward. Okay. So let's make that the content is addressing one problem. Let's make that clear. Okay. The content equals to one problem. If you don't do this, you will struggle to rank. Okay, you will struggle to rank because at the end of the day, the algorithms is looking for context. AI visibility is looking for context. Let me show you something pretty cool as we're diving into this, right? Remember, over the past few days, if you've been following, make sure you subscribe if you're not following. Over the past few days, I showed you that our AI visibility is now showing in Google Search Console, right? And I showed you that it took a nosedive after like a spike. Let me show you something pretty cool. Look at this. Boom. Look at this. You see the spike? And then this was the nosedive I was showing you. I told you there was a new baseline, but look at what's happening right now in the last 2 days or so. I want to continue to show you this kind of stuff, okay? So I just want to let you know that it's ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. But in order for you to have ups and downs, that means you're actually getting visibility, okay? That means you actually have a living, breathing business with a living, breathing digital marketing campaign that's actually working, either you spend money or not. This is key to all of it that I'm showing you right now. Okay, let's get back to this. So one is one problem. So what happens after you created the content? You want to make sure that this content is highly engaging to the eyes, because it's human beings that's going to look at this at the end of the day, right? So you want to make sure that step number 2, I'm going to put step number 2 here, multimedia. And what does that look like? Okay, the whole point of this is to improve engagement, okay? Because you don't want people to come to your blog post and the dwell time is 2 seconds or 3 seconds, which usually means they're bouncing right back to the search engines. So they found you are ranking, Google gave you a chance, right? And then people click, and then immediately they see what they don't like and they click back on their browser, and then they are now back on the search engines. That is recorded as a negative against your rankings over time. So what do we mean by multimedia? We're talking about things like we're talking about videos, we're talking about images, we're talking about quizzes. If you can embed video, images, quizzes, things like that to your content, it makes it a lot more engaging. The human beings don't, in general, reading is not really a thing. We read only when it's necessary, right? Just in general. Now, you can pocket that into groups of people. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that generally speaking, when something is visual, human beings are visual. They are more likely to engage it and if they can interact with it, even better. Okay, so I'm gonna put let's see here. Let's see. I don't need to do this. I don't need you to do that. Control Z. There you go. All right. So you want to make it interactive. Okay. You want to make your content interactive. So interactive multimedia is key to embed onto your. Now let's move on to number 3, right? So step number 3, something you want to make sure you have you've taken care of when you're creating this piece of content. Something you have to pay attention to is, especially in this time and age, in this age of AI and everything, you want to pay attention to what we call search intent. Okay, let me put that here so you can have it visual. Again, human beings are visual, right? Search intent. Search intent. What does that mean? When somebody search a particular phrase, right? What is it that they're trying to achieve exactly? You need to address that in detail, right? You need to address that in detail. What you have to think about, okay, so somebody searches for a particular phrase. Let's say, for example, so you searched for increase my SEO rankings, but what is it that person is trying to achieve? Right? What is the end result for them? You want to make sure you address that, because if you don't address that, it shows lack of empathy. It shows that you actually don't know what their plight or what their pain point is. But when you're able to identify what the search intent is in your content, it shows that you understand them. You want them to instantly see that you understand what they're going through, and that obviously builds trust. Okay, that builds trust. We put that here because people do business with you when they feel like they know you, like you, or they trust you. Feel like they know you, like you, or trust you. KLT, right? So that's key. So that's step number 3. Make sure that if you want to increase your rankings, that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about learning how to publish a content. You know how to do that. But if you want to be able to experience increase in ranking of 92%, 5%, 25%, kind of like I showed you earlier on, let me show you again, just so you can. I'm going to go back to that page, go back to Insights, and you can see here that we're on the trending up here at the top, 92% up over here, right? You can also see that we have pages that are trending up. We actually have a page here that that's basically increased by 900%, right? 400%, meaning it was buried like 50 pages away, right? So 92% is actually being conservative here. I'm actually showing you 900% and 400%. Again, the same trick. This is exactly what we focused on in the last 63 days. Okay, search intent. We make sure that we're actually addressing what they are struggling with. All right, so now let's move on to step number 4, shall we? All right, so step number 4, okay, is authority links. You want to link from your post to other authority websites. Let's say, for example, you reference data, you cite other pieces of content out there. Actually, it can also be on your website. If your website has been around and you have another piece of content, or your website that actually references more detail about what you're talking about, you want to link from the particular post to it, okay? And that's what we call authority links. Let me put that on the board. Okay, authority links. Okay, you want to reference other posts that represents authority in the subject matter. Okay, very important. Let's put that here. Okay, for some reason it's automatically numbering. Okay, so there you go. Aha, authority links. Okay, authority links. Okay, and that takes me to step number 5. I'm not going to waste too much time on that. Okay, so you're building you can't have like an isolated one tree does not make a forest. So you're creating once a week you're putting out a blog post that actually answers one problem at a time, right? So you also want to make sure that you're linking them to each other. Okay, because you are in your niche, you're the subject matter expert, right? So you want to make sure that you're linking them all together. Okay, so what do we call this? We call this internal links. So even within your website, you want to make sure that you're linking your posts to other relevant posts on your website, because that's how the algorithms, the AI algorithms, but also search algorithms, that's how they're able to correlate the context of what your subject matter expertise is about, right? Because at the end of the day, Google and the almighty, all the almighty gods of the internet, they're looking for EEAT: experience, expertise, trust, and authority. EEAT is precisely what they're looking for. So in order to do that, I'm going to put that here real quick. EEAT. Okay, this is what you're trying to achieve. This is how you improve your ranking. This is how you beat everybody else trying to rank for the same thing, right? So we want to do internal linking. Okay, internal linking. 5. Let me make sure I align this. Internal linking. Okay, internal links. Let's just call it internal linking. Let's call it internal linking. Actually, internal linking. That's step number 5. You take the steps, your website will rank. Okay, it will rank. It will start increasing dramatically. Okay. All right. So here we have it. All right. If you take the steps, your ranking will increase. Let me put that here. Okay. Now, I presume that you already know why you need to rank. The higher you rank, the higher your click-through rates, the higher more business you get from the search engines, the more visibility you get from the search engines, the more traffic the almighty search engines will send you. Now, the search engines now include AI, generative AI, such as Claude, such as Gemini, such as ChatGPT, right? The more you're able to show yourself out there, the higher your rankings are, the better. Okay, so that's why we want to improve our ranking. Is a continuous improvement, continuous development. But if you take care of these 5 steps right here, for sure, you'll be able to increase your ranking. All right. Now, if you are here and you're brand new to digital marketing, anything like that, you have fundamentals. You can also, there's a video course on the homepage of this channel. But if you are running a business and your time means everything to you, don't have the time to figure all this out, that's why we're here. We're here to help you but you might want to book a diagnostic session first. And you get the book first, and then you book a diagnostic session on the same page. You can find all of that at digitalmarketingcertified.com. Digitalmarketingcertified.com. This works 100%. So you just have to get down and get it done. You don't get paid for doing things, you get paid for getting things done. Okay, so go figure. So, but again, we're here to help you navigate that journey. Also, when you're able to rank on Google, it helps you offset your marketing cost. Marketing cost is increasing on a day-to-day basis because reality is that more and more businesses are discovering the internet. But if you're ahead of it, you're able to edge against increasing cost of internet when you're able to generate organic traffic, and especially if you're able to do it at scale. And that's what we have here. All right, that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to share these tips with you. Hopefully you've been enlightened. If you want to follow the journey, again, you can see here we're still building out and we're seeing some fantastic results. 63 days in. This is 63 of 1,826 days. You want to follow the journey, just make sure you hit the subscribe. And if you want to start implementing this, you know where to find me. Just simply go to digitalmarketingcertified.com. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. God bless. Peace.